Today I want to focus on something that still has a lot of newer players pretty confused. Type advantage. Some of you might already be pretty familiar with this topic, but even if you're a veteran of the franchise, you should know that type advantage works a little bit differently in Pokemon Go. I know I've talked about this topic before, but I still get a lot of questions about it, and I want to have one definitive episode that I can point people to whenever they need answers. As you probably already know, Pokemon and moves each have types, and some types have inherent advantages or disadvantages against other types. In Pokemon Go, a move that has an advantage over an enemy Pokemon is super effective, and it deals 1.25 times its normal damage, or an extra 25%. A move with a disadvantage is not very effective, and it deals 0.8 times its normal damage, or 20% less than its normal damage. Some type advantages are easy to remember, like fire beats grass because it burns it, and water beats fire because it puts it out. But others are a little bit more obscure and difficult to remember, like Psychic is weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost, and you might not understand why. Well, the logic behind it is that Psychic type is all about the mind, and its weaknesses are three major human fears: bugs, ghosts, and the dark. If there was a public speaking type, Psychic would probably be weak to that too. It becomes much easier to memorize type advantages when you can rationalize the logic behind them. But some type matchups seem to lack clear logic, or were created for balance purposes, like ground beats poison, or fairy beats dragon. Type advantage is most easily summed up in the form of a chart. This chart explains all the type advantages and disadvantages in Pokemon Go. The types on the left indicate the attacker's type, or the type of the move that you're using, and the types on the top indicate the defender's type. When you find the cell where the two types intersect, you'll find out if the attack deals super effective, neutral, or not very effective damage. This is great for single type matchups, but things get a little bit more complicated because some Pokemon have two types. A Pokemon's two types can interact with each other in one of three ways. If both types have a disadvantage against an attack, that Pokemon has a double weakness. Double weaknesses stack multiplicatively, meaning a super effective attack will deal an extra 25% damage times an extra 25% damage. So a Pokemon with a double weakness actually takes about 56% extra damage from a super effective attack. Examples of this would be rock and ground types like Golem and Rhydon, who both have double weaknesses to grass and water, or Dragonite, who, as a dragon and flying type, has a double weakness to ice. If a Pokemon's two types both have an advantage over an attack, then that Pokemon has a double resistance, and that resistance stacks multiplicatively. So an attack's damage will be reduced to 80% times 80%, and that Pokemon will actually only take 64% of the total damage. Examples of this again include rock and ground types who have a double resistance to fire, or grass and poison types like Victreebel and Venusaur who have a double resistance to grass. The third way that a Pokemon's types can interact is by canceling each other out. So if one type has a weakness to an attack and the other type resists it, that attack will deal neutral damage. As an example, Lapras is water and ice type. Fire is not very effective against water, but super effective against ice. So those two types cancel each other out, and Lapras takes a normal amount of damage from a fire type attack. With 18 types and hundreds of possible interactions, it can be a daunting task to memorize type advantages. So in the meantime, I'll show you a couple apps that can essentially function as a cheat sheet for playing Pokemon Go. The first one is called Battle Guide, and it's available for Android. The app gives you a list of all the Pokemon, and when you select one, it'll show you its advantages and disadvantages. The Attack tab shows you that a Fire-type Pokemon, or more importantly a Fire-type attack, is strong against Bug, Steel, Grass, and Ice, and it's not very effective or weak against Rock, Fire, Water, and Dragon. The Defense tab shows you that a Fire-type Pokemon is strong against or resists Bug, Steel, Fire, Grass, Ice, and Fairy-type attacks, and is weak to Ground, Rock, and Water-type attacks. The Attack tab is pretty useless for Dual-type Pokemon, because Venusaur is strong against Ground, Water, and Fairy, but it doesn't specify which types are strong against which. Grass is strong against Ground and Water, and Poison is strong against Fairy, but the app doesn't tell you that. The Defense tab will show you a Pokemon's weaknesses and resistances, but again, it doesn't specify which of the Pokemon's two types is weak or strong against each of the types listed. But if you're just using this to find out which type of attacks you should be using against a Pokemon that's defending a gym, then this is more than enough information, although it doesn't account for double weaknesses or double resistances. The second app is called Coach for Pokemon Go, and it's available on both Android and iOS. This one will only tell you a Pokemon's weaknesses. When you select a Pokemon, it'll tell you what types are super effective against that Pokemon. But again, it doesn't account for double weaknesses. The cool thing about this app is that it can create a notification so you can have quick access to all this information while you're battling a gym. So if you select the Pokemon that are defending a gym, hit the plus and click Send Notifications, it'll create a notification that you can then check while you're in the game. It uses emojis to represent the types, so you'll have to memorize what each one means. Like, is that a cookie? It must be a rock. Parasect is weak to rock. And golf course, I have no idea what a golf course is. What is that? Nidoking's weaknesses: water, ice, psychic, ground. But that's really useful when you're in a battle and you want to quickly check what a Pokemon's weaknesses are. I'm not sure if the notifications part works on iOS, but you can still use the app to check weaknesses. That explains just about everything you need to know about type advantages. I hope it wasn't too confusing, but if you have questions, as always, leave them in the comments or ask me on Twitter. Now, let's get on with the rest of the episode. We're at the airport today because we voted Jazz off the island.
No!
Bye!
I decided to leave you imbeciles!
We actually voted her off a couple days ago, but she finally agreed to leave now.
I have to go back to work because I am an important person. Yeah, right. Bye, Nick. Love you. Bye, fam. My arm. Bye, fam. God, is she gone yet?
Today is a recovery day. After non-stop exploring for the last 3 days, today I just want to relax. So I'm about to head down to the pool and meet up with the family. Chance, where are we?
We're at Kalama Park. I think that's how you pronounce it.
We've driven by this park a couple times now, and I noticed that there were a ton of Pokestops here. So I just wanted to come by and check it out. Walk around, try to hatch some eggs, see what kind of Pokemon we can find. So far it doesn't look very exciting. We are gonna get a beautiful sunset from this park. It's kind of weird that there's this many Pokestops here and not very many Pokemon. Although Pikachu and Vulpix, I'm not complaining. There's a wild Kingler.
Oh, I call it wild Kingler.
Okay, now there's a ton of Pokemon. So, scratch what I just said. There's a lot of Pokemon here. Dang, I didn't know there was a skate park here. I gotta go look at it. Is that? That was a Mega Stop. 10th in a row. Mega Pokestop. Who made that name up? I don't like it. A lot of you guys have been asking if I knew about this, and the answer is yes. I've mentioned it in a previous video. If you spin 10 unique Pokestops in a row, the 10th one gives you twice as much experience and 6 items minimum. This looks like a fun park.
You know, bicycles, scooters, or any other.
Wow. Okay, I need to just sit down for a second and enjoy this. I have a lucky egg on, but I have more lucky eggs. I hope you guys aren't tired of seeing this yet, because I can't get enough of it. Got it.
Ah!
Struggling.
I am.
I'm really looking forward to evolving a Jigglypuff because Wigglytuff is a surprisingly strong attacker.
I don't like.
I need a lot more candies though.
Oh my gosh, Nick. Then how are you gonna make?
Look at this thing.
YouTube
It's like a
videos?
secret base. I would totally sleep under this.
What? On the dirt?
Well, with a sleeping bag.
How are you gonna post the vids though?
Sweet.
I touched my
Welcome
ground.
home. Welcome to my new home. What do you think?
All right, we'll leave you here,
Okay.
but we're not bringing your laptop, so you're gonna have to just stay here. You can't upload any more videos.
Would you guys be mad at me if I quit YouTube to live in this tree?
Comment in the comments below, I guess. Just comment below, yes or no.
On top of living in a tree, it's in range of a Pokestop. Eggs are hatching, all 2K. I think it's 7 of them that I picked up on the volcano. You want to try to name these Pokemon as they hatch? What's that?
It's... What are those worms we used to fish with?
Are you doing a YouTube video?
Yep.
Can I say hi? Hello!
What's that?
That
Oh,
was
just,
it
oh.
was a fishy thing. That looks like a ratty thing. Ratty tat.
Oh, he got it, a ratty tat.
How about that? Oh, I already saw that one.
That's a fishy thing too.
Yeah, only it's called, oh,
That's a bird thing.
it's Pidgeotto.
Oh, that's Pidgeotto. That's a wormy thing.
How about... What is with these eggs?
It's another fish.
Well, Nick, at least you're gonna have a ton of candy.
I have 280 Magikarp candies now. That's it. I was hoping those would be a little more exciting.
All of them being a Magikarp.
I mean, 3 Magikarps is cool. We have, what, 3 more days here? 2.5 days here, and I need 120 more Magikarp candies. We're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna post up here and take on this amazing whale statue gym using type advantage to my full advantage. So, first things first, Slowbro, water and psychic type. This Parasect is actually going to be a crazy sleeper counter to Slowbro. With Fury Cutter and Solar Beam as a moveset, both of those moves are super effective against Slowbro. You'd be surprised at how quickly Fury Cutter will fill up that stamina bar. I'll take Nidoking for the Exeggutor. What else is in here? Flareon, Vaporeon, Lapras. And I definitely need some electric types. I'm still waiting on my grass types to evolve, but this looks like a decent squad. Let's go for it. Oops, I missed my dodge. Come on. Whew, that was close. Gotta switch him out quick, 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 quick. Yes. I hope this is my gold up with Hydro Pump. I didn't check beforehand. Niantic, please give us a way to check moves when we're picking Pokemon. It's pretty essential. Oh, it's the one I cited. I should have known because of the 2 stamina bars. So this actually really isn't that advantageous of a matchup, except for the fact that I take reduced damage for resisting fire type. Finally, it goes down. Someone help me out. That dude over there. Kinda looks like Lachlan. Oh, and my reward is an Execute. If this has good IVs, I would be so happy. 617. If it costs 2,500 Stardust, then I know that this Execute has good IVs. 2,500 Stardust, please. Please, 3,000. Well, that's it. I'm still gonna check the IVs on it. Hopefully it's decent, but I already know it's not gonna be above 80%. Magnemite and Voltorb too? Dang. I gotta get back to the car though. Family's waiting for me. Seriously though, this guy kinda looks like Lachlan. Alright, we out. I'm up here at the summit now. It's super windy, really cold, so I'm taking shelter here near the bathrooms. And the Pokemon diversity up here is actually pretty crazy. Ghastly, Wartortle, Clefairy, Drowsy. These are all Pokemon I don't normally see. I mean, I've only caught 1 or 2 Ghastlies. Oh, the Wartortle disappeared. Drowsy I know is really common for a lot of you guys, but I still don't have enough Drowsy candies to evolve one. And it's interesting because a lot of people have been reporting increased diversity in Pokemon spawns, especially in more rural areas. So, who knows, this could be a part of that.